Hello, guys. Welcome to TPW Talking Pro Wrestling. And Blood and Guts was very good. I was very shocked about what happened. It was very good. I'm very excited. I did not do well with predictions, but that's okay. Um, you're not going to get every single predictions spot on, so... But I still enjoyed it. It was a great match. And a couple matchups were announced after the recording, so I was correct. So I'm going to start first with the Orange Cassidy versus Ethan Page match. This was very interesting because, first of all, Dan Lambert comes out and talks about how Orange Cassidy is not impressive and lazy and the hands in the pockets, and how Ethan Page is more serious and how he's an actually good wrestler. I thought that was very good job by Dan Lambert there. And Orange Cassidy came out to a new theme song, which was what everyone was saying was gonna happen at Forbidden Door, but it didn't happen. It instead happened on Blood and Guts, and good on AEW, because leaks like that shouldn't be happening, but they are, and they decided to do it at a different date than originally planned. So, good job. I'm glad they decided to change things up. That'll tell the leaks to go get out of here. But anyway, I predicted that Ethan Page was going to win, but Orange Cassidy won instead. But it made sense since he had the theme song. It came out and he had the best friends with him, but then they got rejected. I do hope that Ethan Page does get a push, though, because he's very talented and he's just incredible. But then we had a trios tag team matchup. Max Caster and the Ass Boys were in tag team action against Danhausen and two mystery partners of his. And his mystery partners turned out to be FTR, which was very shocking. It blew my mind. So when FTR's theme song came out, I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it! It's FTR!" It was awesome. I'm so glad that Danhausen got FTR. Danhausen actually didn't do a bad job either. He did some very impressive in-ring work as well. I was excited. FTR and Danhausen, they make a great trio. Surprisingly, actually. But there is a reason why they call Danhausen very nice, very evil. So, we also found out Anthony Bowens never was injured in the first place. I mean, some of you may have already knew that, but I didn't. But Anthony Bowens never was injured. He was playing along the entire time. So, it was a pretend injury. He was faking it the entire time. I cannot believe that. It also seems Billy Gunn is throwing his sons away as Anthony Bowens accidentally hit one of the sons of Billy Gunn, and Billy Gunn seemed to side with the Acclaimed, which was interesting. This storyline is very interesting, to say the least. But his father left his father pushed the sons. Billy Gunn pushed the sons away, and was helping out Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. So that was interesting. But I wasn't able to predict anything there, so I really couldn't. So that doesn't affect me. Christian Cage then came out, and then he spoke a little bit. He brought Luchasaurus out, and Luchasaurus looks great. He's got an actual theme song too now. It's already released on AEW Music. They're very quick to release the theme songs. It's crazy. But anyway, Luchasaurus had a squash match against Serpentico, but and then Christian Cage had Luchasaurus beat down Serpentico a little bit longer post-match. But then he told them to get on out and let's go. So I'm enjoying this storyline too. I like Christian Cage as a heel. Luchasaurus as a heel is interesting too. But yeah, I'm very excited for everything that is going on here. And now it's time for the TBS Championship match. Jade Cargill went one-on-one with Layla Gray. Unfortunately, I knew it was going to be a squash match, but Jade Cargill retained the TBS title. She's 34-0 now, but then somebody else came out. Stokely Hathaway was talking first, and he called out Athena and Chris Statlander, and they came out, but then Layla Gray was trying to help out Jade Cargill and the baddies, and it seemed like she wanted to become a part of the baddies. Jade Cargill wasn't having any of it though. She didn't want to have to do anything with Layla Gray. So we'll see what happens from here on out. Then the Young Bucks then were backstage, and they were talking about how all their friends are injured, and then that they had a temporary replacement for Brandon. And I was wondering, did Brandon get injured too? I don't know though, but they were calling him Fred instead, and he was like shaking the camera a little bit. And then they also talked about how they should defend their AEW World Tag Titles, and that they were going to defend those against Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi on AEW Rampage. But then they decided to give them a non-title match to let people take a look at Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi on TV, which I think was a good decision here. Not everybody was able to watch Forbidden Door, and the casuals are able to watch Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi on AEW Rampage. So I thought it was a good decision there. I'm very excited to see Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto on AEW television for the first time. It's going to be good. It's good that AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling are still doing their partnership, before the G1 Climax is going on. I'm sure they're not going to have a whole crap ton of matchups, though, for their partnership. It's also possible they may bring some of AEW may bring some of their stars to New Japan Strong or something like that. That's very possible as well. I mean, Lance Archer is going to be in the G1. That's already something. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But like I said, AEW and New Japan working together. This again still. I mean, I know Forbidden Door was a huge success, but even so, they could still decide they don't want to work together anymore. And seeing that this is still going to be a thing, that's great to see. AEW and New Japan being good partners right now, that's a good thing. Cross-promoting for both promotions is good. But anyways, Rampage was announced that there'd be a Royal Rampage, and whoever wins that gets to face the interim AEW World Champion Jon Moxley. And I also noticed that a couple wrestlers that were on there, like Konosuke Takeshita, Powerhouse Hobbs. I also saw, I think I saw Ryan Nemeth on there too, which was also interesting. So they're having a bunch of different variety of wrestlers that'll be on the Royal Rampage, and that's good. And I know Konosuke isn't an AEW wrestler. He is within DDT Pro Wrestling, but AEW's been working with DDT for a little bit now. But I know that Konosuke is the only DDT wrestler that has shown up on AEW so far. But that might change. But I know DDT is a Japanese company, and I know Japan travel is restricted to the United States, and all that other stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe sometime in the future, if Forbidden Door happens again, AEW, New Japan, and DDT can all work together. And maybe even Stardom could all have like a four company thing. I don't know. I'm just saying some stuff. But anyway, moving on, because I have to move on at some point. Going to the main event, the Blood and Guts match. So here's what I predicted would happen. I predicted that Eddie, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker would be first, and that Santana would be second, and then that Jake Hager would be third, and then that Ortiz would be fourth, and that Sammy Guevara would be fifth, and then Wheeler Yuta would be sixth, and then Daniel Garcia would be seventh, and then Claudio Castagnoli would be eighth, and then Chris Jericho would be last on his team, and that Jon Moxley would be last on his team. And I also predicted Blackpool Combat Club would win, so let's see what I got right. I did not get the first people right. It was Claudio Castagnoli and Sammy Guevara that was first, and then it was Daniel Garcia, then it was Wheeler Yuta, and then it was Jake Hager, which I got that right. I got Jake Hager right. And then it was Jon Moxley, which surprised me. I really thought Jon would be last because of the injury he had with all the bleeding and all that other stuff that happened, but that did not happen, which surprised me. Then Angelo Parker was next, and then Ortiz was next, and then Matt Menard was next. Then it was Santana, and Chris Jericho was last for his team, so I got that right too. And that Eddie Kingston was last for his team. I was wrong about that. I really thought Eddie Kingston was going to be first, but it did not happen, obviously. It was Claudio Castagnoli, and that was a good choice too to put Claudio in first since he's making his television debut. I'm just glad they didn't make John go first. So, yeah. And I also got the Blackpool Combat Club winning the match correct. And this is good. This can strengthen their feud even more, which is that's amazing. That's great to see. I'm glad that is happening. It's definite. We're gonna have a tiebreaker. Whoever wins this will have the tiebreaker. The faction will have the more wins against the other. Who's that gonna be? We're gonna find out. But I know this feud isn't over. That's my point. Blood and Guts. Every Blood and Guts that has happened so far, the feud did not end there. So I know this feud is, and I know this feud's not going to end, because that would be an abrupt way to end this feud, honestly, because it's pro wrestling versus sports entertainment. What else could you want within this feud? But honestly, now it's more than pro wrestling versus sports entertainment. This is becoming an quote unquote animosity, is what the commentators are saying. I think, for a lack of a better word, that's probably one of the more correct words to say it. It basically is an animosity within both of these factions. It really is. But anyway, I got 3 of my predictions correct. That is not good. But at least I got something right. So, whatever. It's fine. Really, it's fine. So, stay tuned, because I am now going to do the Impact Wrestling predictions. Hello guys, welcome back, and now it's time for the Impact Wrestling predictions. First of all, let's do the Before the Impact, which is Thursday at 7:30 Eastern, or 6:30 Pacific, or 5:30, Central. I meant Central. 6:30 Central and 5:30 Pacific. That's what I meant to say. Ugh. Or is it 4:30 Pacific? One of those two. But, it'll be Rich Swann taking on Raj Singh with Shera in his corner. So, after claiming possession of Rich Swann's digital media title from Brian Myers, Rich Swann will now battle Raj Singh with Shera in his corner. Plus, Gia Miller, Josh Matthews, and George Iceman will get you ready for all things Impact. So, this is going to be a good Before the Impact matchup, I believe. I think Rich Swann's gonna win, just because he's the digital media champion, and basic, and it'll just show even more why he's the digital media champion. I'm not gonna go too big into detail on that one, but now going to this knockouts matchup, as Giselle Shaw will take on Rosemary with Taya Valkyrie in her corner. So basically what's going on here, if you don't know, Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie made their tag team return at Slammiversary, dethroning the Influence to become the new Knockouts tag team champions. But now Rosemary must turn her attention towards Giselle Shaw, who has struck a deal with Madison Rayne and Tennille Dashwood. If Shaw can take out the Demon Assassin, she may become Rayne's replacement in the Influence's contractually obligated rematch after Rayne suffered an injury at Slammiversary. So, this is going to be very interesting. I'm very excited for this Knockouts matchup, just mainly because the tag team return of Rosemary and Taya Valkyrie happened, and also because this matchup could build up to a big rematch for Giselle Shaw, and this could be a big opportunity for Giselle Shaw. So in my opinion, I think Giselle Shaw is going to win against Rosemary somehow and become Madison Rayne's replacement. But we'll see what happens. That's just my prediction. And now let's go to Ace Austin with Chris Bay in his corner, taking on Alex Zane. Ace Austin shocked the world when he helped El Phantasmo, Chase Owens, and Bad Luck Fale of Bullet Club score a victory over the United Empire, solidifying his place in the group led by Switchblade Jay White. Austin's former friend Alex Zane learned that if you're not Bullet Club, you're against Bullet Club, and he found himself on the receiving end of a brutal assault. This Thursday, Zane looks to gain a measure of revenge on Austin when they collide in singles action. So this is like a former friends matchup. Ace Austin trying to prove that he is a solid member for the Bullet Club, just like Chris Bay has been trying to do. And he wants to take on he's taking on his former friend Alex Zane. This could go either way, really, but I think Ace Austin's going to win this, just so he can solidify his being the member of the Bullet Club and all that other good stuff going on right now. I don't doubt this is going to be a good match. I don't doubt that. I'm very ready for this. It's going to be good. And also, I think Chris Bay is going to help Ace Austin get the victory. So there's that too. Speaking of Chris Bay, he will be in a fatal 4-way matchup with Steve Macklin, Laredo Kid, and Trey Miguel to become the number 1 contender for the X Division title. And so here's what's going on here. Mike Bailey realized his dream when he scaled the Ultimate X structure and retrieved the title to become X Division champion for the first time. But there's no rest for the weary, as Bailey's first challenger is set to be determined this Thursday, as Chris Bay, Steve Macklin, Laredo Kid, and Trey Miguel will take on each other to become the number 1 contender for the X Division championship. Who will step up and earn the X Division title opportunity against Speedball Mike Bailey? Now, really, this could go any way. All four of these X Division people, men, are very impressive. I enjoy every single one of these four's work. Trey Miguel was Impact X Division champion for a while. He had a pretty decent run too. I enjoyed his run. Laredo Kid has been trying to grab the X Division title for a while. I do wish Laredo Kid could get the title at some point, but first of all, Mike Bailey just grabbed it not too long ago. So and Laredo Kid being Mike Bailey's first opponent would be awesome. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's going to happen. And Steve Maclin's been trying to get it for a while too. He's had a few opportunities as well, but hasn't succeeded. I doubt he'll win this to even try to go for the Impact X Division Championship again. So, in my opinion, Chris Bay is going to win this and try and go for the X Division Championship. Chris Bay being Mike Bailey's first opponent as the X Division Champion would be a good matchup. The Finesser versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Just think about what a dream match that could be for Chris Bay and Mike Bailey. Sorry, getting a drink. My throat's kind of dry right now. But yeah, it's very important that the champion gets a good opponent to challenge for any championship. So Chris Bay being that first opponent would be a good way to start this match, to start Mike Bailey's run as X Division champion. And now it looks like Jordynne Grace will take on Savannah Evans with Tasha Steelz by her side. And Jordynne Grace made history at Slammiversary when she defeated Tasha Steelz, Chelsea Green, Deonna Purrazzo, and Mia Yim to become the Knockouts World Champion in the first ever Queen of the Mountain match. With Steelz' obligated rematch on the horizon at Against All Odds, Jordynne Grace must first get past Savannah Evans this Thursday. Brace yourself for this hard-hitting clash between two of the most powerful knockouts on the Impact roster. Jordynne Grace and Savannah Evans both are very talented females, and they're very talented on the knockouts side of things. Jordynne Grace really did shock the world when she became the Knockouts World Champion, and getting her rematch against Tasha Steelz at Against All Odds, it's going to be a tough battle for Savannah Evans and Jordynne Grace, both of these, but it's mainly going to be a tough battle for Savannah Evans, as Jordynne Grace has momentum now that she is the Knockouts World Champion. So I think Jordynne Grace is going to win this one. It is Jordynne Grace's first obstacle in her rematch with Tasha Steelz. She's going to need all the momentum she has if she wants to beat Tasha Steelz once again. So this is going to be a hard-hitting match, like what I read from the Impact website said. We'll see what happens. Jordynne Grace gets the win and gets the momentum rolling for Against All Odds. And now the Good Brothers defend their Impact World Tag Team titles against PCO and Vincent. This was very interesting to see. But after defeating the Briscoes to become the Impact World Tag Team Champions at Slammiversary,
the Good Brothers will make their first title defense this Thursday. As the war against Honor No More rages on, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson are set to square off with Vincent and his monster, PCO, just one day before their epic 5-on-5 showdown at Against All Odds. Who will walk into Atlanta with the Impact World Tag titles around their waist? So, what I'm seeing here is a very decent title match here. But the thing is, they have to defend their titles at Against All Odds, too. So, the thing is... Oh, wait, no, they don't have to defend their titles at Against All Odds because it's a 5-on-5. My bad. But the momentum here is going to be big for PCO and Vincent if they were to grab the tag titles. But here's the thing. The Good Brothers just became the Impact World Tag Champions, beating the Briscoes at Slammiversary not too long ago. I don't think having PCO and Vincent becoming the tag champions this early on and right before Against All Odds, I mean, I guess right before Against All Odds would be a good choice, but the Good Brothers just became the tag champs again. I don't think they're going to lose them. So my prediction is Good Brothers retain the Impact Wrestling Tag Team Championships. And that's all I have to say about that. Now it's time for the big one-on-one matchup that I've been wanting to see for a long time. This rivalry seems to be coming to an end after this main event, as Chris Sabin versus Frankie Kazarian will finally be happening once again, and as what I've seen, will be the last time they go one-on-one. And last month, Frankie Kazarian made a shocking return to Impact Wrestling and immediately remade his long-standing rivalry with Chris Sabin. But after a familiar assault at the hands of Honor No More, the Battle of the Futures was brought to an abrupt halt. At Slammiversary, Kazarian joined forces with Sabin to help lead the Impact Originals to victory over Honor No More. And with that showdown in the rear view mirror, Kazarian and Sabin are set to finish what they started this Thursday. So this is going to be a very big main event. I'm very excited for it. I'm happy that this match is finally happening. I've been wanting this match to happen for a while, and with AEW and Impact Wrestling working together now, I'm glad it's finally happening. I'm very excited for this matchup. Impact Wrestling is doing something great here. Let's hope they continue to do more stuff like this, having the cross-promotion with AEW, because that can get Impact more views, and that can also get AEW more views, more people talking, and all that other good stuff that cross-promotion does. My prediction here, gonna surprise a lot of you, maybe not, but Chris Sabin gets the victory over Frankie Kazarian. I think Chris Sabin having the win over Frankie Kazarian to finish this rivalry is the perfect opportunity to create some buzz, not just for Chris Sabin, but also for Frankie Kazarian, because Frankie Kazarian could try to work harder after his loss against Chris Sabin, and it wouldn't totally ruin any momentum that Frankie Kazarian has in this matchup. As it is, yes, it is a big rivalry that they have had, but the thing here is Chris Sabin needs to grab more victories on his record, and Frankie Kazarian should too. And I can see why people are saying Frankie Kazarian should win this match, but
in my professional opinion, even though I'm not really a professional at all, I think Chris Sabin should win this match. And that's really all I'm going to say after that. But thank you everyone for listening to the results for Blood and Guts, and also listening to the predictions for Impact Wrestling. So thank you very much for all that. This is TBW Talking Pro Wrestling. I will do the results for Impact Wrestling, and I will also do the MLW and Rampage predictions tomorrow as well. So I'm going to do 3 different things tomorrow. I'm very busy. Let me just tell you that. I'm very busy. But, yeah, see you guys on the next episode. Good night, everyone.